Hello guys! So 2021 is coming and I decided to use Notion as my second brain to track everything that's going to happen to my life for 2021 and of course to track the things that I want to happen and then probably review them by the end of the year to see where what we've achieved, what we've done and all of those sorts. And personally I came up with around 7 categories that I want to track, and these are the ones that you're seeing right now on the screen. So I decided that I would be needing a journal. Of course, for 2021, we would be needing to track our daily journal, right? So every day we would be needing to record what happens, and I wanted to have those in detail for 2021. Goals, of course, what we want to achieve for the year, and then finance, as this is the primary purpose of this channel, hopefully. So, of course, this needs to be put here as well. Work, so that it will be easier to manage tasks. Health, of course, learning, and passion will be here as well, because I wanted to learn. Self-investment is the best investment I can think of, to be honest. So learning always has to be here, and of course passion, so anything that that's not related to any of these but I want to do would be under this page. So for this video we would be discussing mostly how I created my journal, or maybe not in detail but the high level walkthrough of how I designed this journal to track my life for 2021, and I wanted to share with you why I like this type of journal and why I'm moving to Notion as well. I've always been a fan of making journal entries and bullet journals, but it's kind of hard to maintain throughout the year, mostly for bullet journals, because it really takes time and everything, and you have to bring your notebook with you. But with Notion, you just have to open a page and then track everything there. So going to the journal page, you would see the following. So here I have divided the months and summaries that we have in quarters. So later on this would make more sense, but I wanted to take you here on the database that we have for the daily journal. So right now it's in calendar view, but if I put it in default view, you would be able to see the table database that we have for this one. The idea is to have an entry per day and then record the following. So these are the ones that I want to track on a day-to-day basis, and I want to put it here. Now this looks like a tedious task to track every day, but based on the template that I did and the idea that I've had, this should be an easy one, and it also helps build a habit. So the idea is I won't be creating a habit tracker anymore, because most of those are the ones I want to, or most of those habits that I want to build are already tracked here. So if I do log an entry, a journal entry on a day-to-day basis, and I open Notion both in my phone and in the PC or in the laptop, every time I see the page, I am reminded that these are the things I need to do and these are what I need to track. So that's the idea, that I will be using Notion when I wake up. I will be using it when I sleep, or before I sleep. So here there are already entries here just for the sake of an example, but the primary idea is on a day-to-day basis. So I'll show you. If I go back to calendar view, this is how I'll mostly be using it. Let's pretend that we are in 2021 and this is the current day. So I have a template readily made, which is here, and is called Daily Journal. And what it does is already provides me a page with all of the things I need to track and all of the things I need to record, or I want to record for the given day. So for example, today is December 16. Let's track this one, and I just want to put an entry here that today is December 16, 2020, and then the emoticon here would mostly represent how we're feeling for the day. So this is mostly what I feel. Can represent that with an emoji. How about this? So just a quick change to show what you generally feel. So this is what I'll choose for now. And then let's say I woke up at this hour. So this is the idea of waking up and then checking Notion with your phone or checking Notion with your laptop once you've logged in for work, or just opening your laptop or checking your phone. The basic idea. So I can log in a wake up time. Just put include time here, and then let's use this one for now. So let's say it's 12 a.m. I woke up at 12 a.m. Which makes sense. So I work on a night shift. And then let's say I have all of these things which I do not know yet, and probably gonna come back to when we close the day. So idea is we open the day with Notion and then we close the day with Notion. So here for the weight, it's something that we should be tracking. Start of the day. So let's say we just put here 145 pounds. It's in pounds, and all of these things are already here. But what you've noticed here for the expenses is it's a relation. So it's actually related to the daily expenses or the expenses database, which I'll be showing or explaining in a different video. So this automatically populates every time I add an expense. So I don't have to worry in terms of tracking my expenses by having to add them every time. There's already a database that records it here in the same page as well. So all of these are just relational databases that you would understand later in different videos that I'll be making for this 2021 Notion Life Tracker. Since for now we're doing the journaling, we'll just give a high level idea of how it's gonna work. So once that the day has been opened and the ones that we can track during the start of the day has been tracked, we can go here and check what we need to do. So most of these would be filled out during the close of the day. So I'm still trying to think of a good layout for this. Probably move all of these things here and then move this template that I created to open the day here, and then the closing of the day probably will remain somewhere here. So the idea is with the opening of the day template or opening the day template, I have a list of to-do. So when I click this plus sign, I would have a list of to-do that I already need to perform or check during the start of the day. So a sample of that is track wake time, which we just did, and then fill out the dream journal. So here is something that we can fill out during the start of the day. So we can just say, I dreamed of this thing, something like that, and then we can fill it. We can already check that here as well, and then here for the task is something that we can add to. So if there is something that we need to do during the start of the day, or task that we can think of that we need to do for the rest of the day, once we open it, right, we can put it here. So an example of task would be close or finish work backlog, something like that. But my primary idea here is not to use this for work, since we have a page for that dedicated for work. Most of this tasks would probably be those tasks that we need to perform outside work. So let's just, for the sake of an example, let's just say take a bath or anything like that. We can put it here. And then as we go along the day, we can check and verify if we were able to perform the task here. So we will go back to this later, but let's say we're using it throughout the day and we need to track our daily expenses. So the idea here as well is to be able to track our expenses just with this page. My goal in mind here would be on a day-to-day basis, we will only have to open the page for the given day and track everything that we need to track for that day. Then all of those that we track would go to the central database where they're supposed to be recorded at, which we can later analyze probably after a month or after a quarter, etc., etc. But the goal is just to use this one pager to track everything that we need. So for example, if we have a daily expense for the day, let's say we bought something, if I bought an apple pie, and then the specific amount would be probably just $3. Probably this comment be here. So got hungry, need food. Just put that there. And then we can have it here. Now, the good part about this daily expenses is that you can update it with your phone, so you can go anywhere and just update this one in the page. And you can also select the account where you're actually going to be paying this from. So an example of this is here. So these are my multiple accounts. Sorry if they're quite a lot. But the idea is to choose where you're paying this one from. So if I say I'm choosing to pay it here in cash, it will be here. And it will also be reflected in the account for cash, noting that there is an expense of $3 and it will subtract it to the total amount of cash on hand that I have. So that's a primary idea. And if you're using your phone to track these expenses, you can also add receipts. So by clicking this one, you can choose to upload the file. And if you're using this one via phone, which I'll be showing you as well here. So let's go to Notion right now, to this page. Okay, so once we are in this page for the daily life tracker, let's go inside. These are the same things that we saw and recorded in the screen just now. Okay, so if you're just using your phone, you don't need to open a laptop. You can still track your day, tick your check boxes here, and then track your expenses. So this is what we had earlier. And then if we want another one, let's say we bought new phone. Okay, we can also track it here and enter the amount. Let's say that's around $999. And then probably wanted new phone. Why not? So and then the date, as you can see, automatically populates and relates it to this given journal entry or page. And then paid from, we can have it here and then choose the right account. So let's choose cash again, and then I'll have that. And then for the receipt, what's good here is that when you do choose a file, you have the option to use a photo library if you've taken a photo of the receipt, or if you're using this one the moment that you have purchased whatever that cost that expense, you can just choose take a photo or video and take a photo of the receipt on the spot. So it's a good part for this one. Then we also have here a tag, which I'll explain once we go to the finance video. Part of this is the recurring one. So if you have a bill, the primary idea is if I have a recurring bill and I tick this one, I don't have to worry about putting it here or putting an entry here in this page. I will automatically see it for the day. So going back to our screen, just close the one for the phone. So going back to our Notion in a laptop, the idea here is if this is recurring, I would be seeing it on the day that it's supposed to be paid or supposed to be billed. So when I open my daily journal or my journal for the day, those expenses would already be shown here. And I would only need to select which I paid it from, which account I paid it from, so that it will be added to the central database for the expenses, and it will subtract that expense to that specific account. So even then, I already know what I need to pay for the given day simply just by looking at this page. Now that we've had that for let me just refresh. So since I added an expense entry, just wanted to refresh that. Let's see if it reflects. So it reflected that I bought a new phone here, December 16, with the following comments. Okay, so these are all tracked here. And then another thing is, since I do have a lot of accounts, I normally would want to track the transfers that I do for the day. So these are just for the sake of it as an example. But once you're using this one should be changing to your current day. I'd set that up in such a way that it will look like, or it will be the same as this one. And then if I, let's say, need to withdraw from my payroll account and have it on cash or cash on hand, then I'd be able to record that transaction here as well. I recorded it as transfers because those are not income or expenses. I'm simply just moving one account or my money from one account to another here. So that's the idea. So now, the finance part is done. We've already tracked our expenses and transfers. And if you guys are wondering why there's no income here, I didn't put it as a part of the daily journal because I doubt that I'd have a given income every day, right? So I didn't put that here anymore. So I just put here all the things that I need to track. So let's say we check up again on this during the afternoon or in the evening. We'll be able to put here before we sleep or we want to close the day already is to add water intake. So probably in the ML, I was able to accomplish drinking 2,000 ml of water or 2 liters. And then here for the feeling, I generally put some feelings that we might be usually, and feeling. So here I put happy, sad, anxious, loved, but the list could go on, and you're not limited to these values. So I just put it here as the staple ones, but this could change as well. So it's also works hand in hand with the logo that we have here, or the emoticon, sorry, that we have here. So whatever you're feeling, if we're feeling happy, we can change this one. So if we're feeling happy, we could change this one. Let's say this, probably a bit elated, and then write it as elated. Just you can even change the color for this because gray is dull for the feeling of being elated. So let's choose yellow one for this case. So you can track that, and then of course if we did some exercises, let's say I did 30 minutes of exercise, this one would be in minutes. You can put this one in minutes, and all of these things will be added as part of a central database, which we would be seeing at the later part of the video, or not the later part of the video, in upcoming videos. So here as well, we would be ticking probably the task that we have done for the given day since we are about to close it, and then we can probably review now what we generally felt today. So today I was elated because I was able to put out this video, something like that, blah. And then what are my general thoughts today? So anything that's bothering you can put it here. And then of course for what happened today, something that we can narrate or tell a story to that this happened today. And then what did I eat today? So I just put this one as something to record what we ate. Doesn't really need to go as a database, just for fun. I don't want to track everything that I ate in a database. So it's just something that you can, it's good to write them down for you to assess why have you been eating too much junk food or all of those things, and you can just put it here that you eat eggs for breakfast, etc., etc. Then of course once all of those have been filled out, we can close the day, or probably since I know what we need to perform, you can click that template, right? So if you click this, it will just do the same list, and that's the beauty of it. So you don't have to constantly copy paste those, just need to click the button and that will appear there. So review task for the day from your opening day, then add task to the next day. So if you want to close the day by adding or creating a journal entry for the next day so you don't have to do it on the next day, this is something that you can do as well. And then fill out all of these things. Something here, I just put it here as an example, and then exercise minimum of 30 minutes if we're tracking it here. So that's the goal here. So most of these are just put there as an example of what we want to close or open the day with. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look like for the daily journal. Now what's good here is that if I go back here again, be able to see here as a calendar view. Just go back to the landing page as a calendar view that we have this December 16th entry, and then if you want to view it on the table, then it's also going to be, I think it's not going to be here because I did it's here. So sorry, it's here, because we also added it in the database, and all of this have been filled out, except I forgot to put sleep. So probably add, let's make this one 8 a.m. at least 8 hours of sleep. You have the time there. Then you have the following entry, which you can review if you want to see it on a table mode. But since I don't want this too much clutter, I just wanted to view it in a calendar view. So I know that every day I have the following entries. And then in terms of properties, since we're doing a calendar view, you can select which one you want to show for the calendar view. So for example, if we want to show our general feeling, you can see it here that, okay, for today or last week or yesterday, I was feeling elated, I was feeling happy. And then, or you could show your expenses. You can clearly see on a calendar view that this is what you've been spending for the given day. So you can choose any of these properties that you want to show so that you can have an overview of your given day just by looking at this calendar. I hide these for now. Okay, now we also have this monthly page that was created. So the primary idea for this is to have a summary of the given month. So for example, if I go to the page for January, I would automatically see the entries that I've created or the journal entries that I had for January only. So that means I don't need to go to this entire database that contains all of the journal entries for the year. But if I just want to view a specific month, I can go here and I'd be able to show all of those entries and have the summary for that. Also, it will give you an overview of how your month went. Were you healthy enough? Were you able to fulfill your exercise goals? Were you able to sleep based on the time that you've set or your goal time that you've set? And how you're generally feeling. How about your expenses for the month? You'd be able to calculate that as well. So if we calculate the total here, put the sum, be able to see that your monthly expense here. Your weight as well can be measured in terms of your average. So all of these things that you want to track for the given month and review can be done here as well. The good part here is you can also use this just as a general view, and whatever entry that you create here, let's say we create another one, January 3, 2021, then just change this one to January 3. Okay, we have the template here as well. Since I didn't start it from the template view, you can click this one, so it will automatically pull all of the templates that we have shown earlier. Okay, so this one I have to fix yet the filter so that it will only filter out those that I need to see for the given day. So an example for that is do a January 3 entry. Since this has been newly created, and filter that one out. Let's see. Select this, and it will remove those that we don't need for the given day. So same case here, we can filter this one out. Okay, and it will have the following entry. Now the good part here is that if we go back to the journal one, you'd also be able to see this entry created. So it also gets automatically created in the central database. So whatever you've been adding here as a month's view, is also going to be added to the central database for the given year, which is great because if you just want to stay for the given month and you don't want to look at all of those things from the previous page, we can just simply stay here. And by the end of the month, or even just what I mean is by the start of the month, if you want to set your goals for the given month, let's say eat less for just January, you'd be able to set those here in the goals section and then tick it by the end of the month, review if you were able to achieve them. And then for the reflections here, by the end of the month, probably you want to do some reflection of how your month went, what you did right, what you want to change, etc., etc. You also have I've also added an events section here that would provide an easier view of what the events or upcoming events here are. So I haven't decided yet if I wanted to make this as an events database that shows a specific calendar just for the events for January, or if it's just going to be a simple bullet list that will tell me these are the things that I am expecting or have been happening for January or for the given month. Then of course, a summary. So just a month-end review of how well the month went, and then use that review on a month-to-month basis to check if you're making progress with your goals, with what you're generally feeling, with the health, etc. That's the primary idea for this. So all of these months would have that given filter, and it will only just show the entries for the given month. Now, I've also separated this one per quarter with the idea or concept that I'm probably going to be doing a general review on a quarterly basis for the 3 months that's under here. I haven't decided yet on if I would also be wanting a different page for that, so I could just create a page here, turn this header into a page, and then click it, and I'll be seeing all of the quarter details that I have. But that's the general concept. Okay, so that's it for this given journal. Let me know your thoughts if this is okay with you, and then for the next video we will be discussing the finance part of it, which I like very much. And yeah, if you have any feedback on how we can make this journal page or how to track our day-to-day life better with Notion, then let me know in the comment section below. So if you want to find out more about given categories that we've shown here, then please subscribe and like the video so that it will be shown to more people. Okay, thank you, bye, see you in the next video.